Hey guys, this is Nate from RunDreamAchieve.com. Today's video, I wanted to talk on how to get motivated with running. And there are a lot of ups and downs with training, as you all know. And over the years, I had many times where I questioned my capabilities, especially with the marathon distance. I was always wondering, what do I need to do in order to get this particular distance down right? In 2007, when I was assigned to the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program, I came in with a 51:54 10-mile personal best. I qualified for 2 Armed Forces World Cross Country Championship teams, but I had only run a personal best of 2 hours, 43 minutes, and 36 seconds for the marathon. And that was at my debut marathon at the 2002 New York City Marathon, where we started in last place for lung cancer research. We weren't allowed to start the race until every runner had crossed the start line. So that was my first initial attempt at the marathon distance, but I had come in to the World Class Athlete Program with only that particular personal best. So you're going to be stacked. There's going to be challenges in your training. It's going to take time. There's ups and downs. There's times where workouts are not going to go the way you want them to go. You're not going to run great every single race that you go out and you try to run a particular event at a particular pace or go after a specific time. There's going to be setbacks, and I just want you guys to be encouraged and know that you will overcome what you have to deal with in the sport. And in terms of how to stay motivated with running and how to maintain your enthusiasm, you have to continue to remind yourself of what you're doing as an athlete. What are you going for? Is it a particular time? Are you trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon? Are you trying to run under a specific time for your chosen event? Whatever it is, or if you're trying to lose weight, whatever it is, you have to maintain that enthusiasm. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever received as an athlete is when you come across a setback or some kind of challenge in your particular event, be upset for only a short amount of time. Don't give past workouts or past events or past performances too much of your mental energy. You cannot change what happened in the past, but you can focus on making dramatic change for your future performances and future events. And staying motivated is tough sometimes because, if you have other things in your life, maybe you're going to school, you have other responsibilities, family, it's hard to maintain that your composure and excitement when you're trying to balance all of the other things in your life and still be great at your particular sport and your particular event. And I make this videos because I know what you all are experiencing. I know what it's like to deal with setbacks. I've had DNFs in marathons. It's not a good feeling when you work really hard for a race and you either go out too fast or whatever happens in the race, you just don't finish. And I've only had a few of those in my career, but they are definitely enough to really challenge you mentally and really you start to question, like, what am I doing wrong? But at the end of the day, the only thing that kept me going over the years was just that end goal of how far can I push my body? What can I do to make it to the next level in my sport? And I had setbacks too, just like any other athlete. And again, there are other athletes out there that have run much faster than me. I've run 2:19 for the marathon, 1:07:06 for the half, 50:54 for 10 miles, 14:18 for 5K, 31:09 for 10K. There are athletes out there that are much faster than me, but that being said, they've experienced just the same types of setbacks that you and I have had to deal with. And this idea of how to stay motivated, in running, really takes tenacity on the part of the athlete, and how to get motivated with running, and how to maintain that excitement for your chosen event. You just have to continue to remind yourself of what you're doing, what you want out of the sport. What you're doing, obviously, especially if you're trying to run a specific time, is challenging. It's going to take effort. Not every workout's going to go great. Not every race you run is going to go great. And over the years, I've had bad races too. You know, like I said, I've had DNFs, I've had poor performances in training. But one thing I want you guys to keep in mind too is if for whatever reason this is like a chronic issue, like you continue to have bad workouts or you continue to have bad races, I want you really to start thinking about the physiological things that could be going wrong. You might be running low on iron. It could be sleep deprivation. Maybe you have all these other things you're balancing in your life and you need to get more rest. You have to discipline yourself to do the things off the track and off the roads. You have to have that same amount of discipline and focus that you have to do those hard anaerobic workouts when you're done doing the training. You know, it's paying attention to your nutrition, paying attention to if you're running low on something, get a blood test. See if you're running low on iron or ferritin, which is like a component of iron. If you're running low on iron, it doesn't matter how motivated and driven you are. You'll have a very difficult time hitting splits in training, maintaining pace in races and in workouts. And because you can have all the motivation and drive and focus in the world, but if you're running low on those particular parts of your nutrition, ferritin, iron, running low on vitamin C, zinc, these are all nutrients that are very, very important for oxygen capability and delivery to your cells. And if you're running low on those particular things, it's going to be very hard to be able to maintain a high effort because obviously your cells aren't working at optimal levels. So these are things that athletes that have motivation and have drive, but come across setbacks in training, deal with. And then they start wondering, well, I'm not hitting the paces and I have this motivation, I have the drive to keep doing what I'm doing, but for whatever reason, I'm just not hitting the splits or I'm not hitting the times that I want in my races. It could be something physiological, but over the years too, with my own experience too, sometimes it's just you want results too quick and the body is just not ready to handle what you're throwing at it in the allotted time you're expecting your result. I mean, what you want, most athletes that come to this channel or go to RunDreamAchieve.com are already highly driven, focused individuals. They're involved in self-development, they're motivated, they're driven. But we all as athletes, regardless of what capability or how much genetic talent or how much work ethic we have, there are times where you do get weak sometimes, and whether that's physical or mental, but you can get over it quickly. The real thing I want you guys to remember is if you have a setback in training or you have a disappointment, don't give that disappointment or bad workout or bad race too much of your mental energy for too long. I started getting really strong mentally and started to really perform better when I had a bad workout or a bad race and I just let it go within a few hours. Again, you cannot control what happens in the past. Whatever happened in the past is in the past. It's what happens now in the future and what you do leading into we're in 2021 now. So, later in this year, whether you're going for a particular time in the marathon or you're trying to run under a specific time in the 10K or the 5K, or you're trying to break a 5-minute mile or a 6-minute mile or 7-minute mile, you have to remind yourself of what it is you want to do and know that what you're doing obviously is competitive, it's time consuming, it's going to be tough, and anything that's really worth doing is worth putting in that effort for a long enough period of time. Now, every athlete is different, and what long-term means to one athlete is going to be different for someone else. I remember I was just responding back to somebody left a comment on one of my videos in regards to long-term thinking and what is considered long-term, and is that individual to the athlete, and it is. I mean, somebody that's talented, genetically talented, is naturally going to get better results faster than somebody that has very little talent and has to rely on the work ethic. And that's kind of where I was at when I was competing for, from 1992 all the way up to 2018. I really had to rely on my work ethic. I had a certain level of talent, but it was minimal. And so I had to really focus in on what I had. And what I did have was a huge heart, a strong mental mindset, and a long-term approach, knowing that what I was trying to do was more than likely going to take a decade or longer to do. Again, I ran from 92 and I didn't break the 220 barrier for the marathon until 2007. So very few athletes are willing to work that hard for that long. And the same goes for you. If you don't have a lot of talent, be encouraged by the fact that you do have the drive and the motivation, and you have that work ethic that really counts at the end. If somebody with a great deal of talent doesn't work as hard as you, they better have done their homework, because the athletes that I think are the most dangerous are the ones that have very little talent, but they're putting in the work 24/7. They're going to make up for the lack of talent that they have, and they're going to get the results in due time. And they have a do whatever it takes attitude. They're not willing to quit. They're going to continue to put in the heavy work no matter what. So I hope this video has been helpful for you all. I want you to stay motivated. I want you to stay driven and really white hot focused on what you want out of your particular event, whatever it is you're trying to go for in 2021. If you have any questions or concerns, anything I can help you out with, or you have a specific topic you want me to cover in my next video, leave me a comment below this video. Again, I'll have resources. There are resources that can help you get to the next level under every one of my YouTube videos. So definitely check those out.